So, someone asked me what I think about Soaked in Bleach and what happened to Kurt, what I think happened to Kurt. Um, First of all, it's hard to I don't really have an extreme view either way, but and with the phone calls really gets me because there's proof there, right? I mean, and you listen to like Courtney saying things like, you know, she's talking about um, lying, you know, I mean, multiple times about lying to like change a story or to make somebody think something different, which is manipulative. I mean, how many people in your life do you know that do that? You know, so when somebody says they make up a story to try to make somebody think something else, that's pretty bad. It's like beyond just a it's like beyond just a lie. It's like manipulation. It's it's psychopathic, I think, if you guys know what I mean. So, there's something else I was just gonna say on that too. Uh, Anyway, I'll just keep talking about it. I want to say I have met Dylan quite a few times. He's a good guy. I mean, if anyone did have anything to do with, anybody did have anything to do with Kurt, you know, a murder or something, you know, it definitely wasn't Dylan. You know, that I that's 100%. Um, you know, Dylan loved Kurt, and they were best friends. You know, and there's one moment where he says if I thought that I knew anybody that would have done something to Kurt, I'd kill them. You know, I mean, you got to take that to heart. Like, like you look at your best friends or something, and if something happened to one of them, and you knew somebody that did, I mean, you're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, I mean, you want to kill that person, right? So I think that's all he was saying there. Um, yeah, so Courtney is obviously very manipulative and very smart in a sense. So I mean, it's a dark story. It paints a dark story. You guys know what I'm talking about. Um, if there was a divorce, and Courtney was going to be left with nothing, um, would she go to that extent? I don't know. I don't know. Um, so that's pretty. I have to say I cried a couple times watching that. It was like, because there's moments you just know. I mean, there's so much. Something happened. Something besides Kurt just killing himself. Something happened, whether it's like someone just manipulated the situation to be in Courtney's favor or something, or whatever, you know. Um, it's hard to say, man. It really is hard to say what happened. Um, but there's one thing that I kept watching. I'm like, what am I missing here? What? There's a point when Courtney talks about the note being written on the back of an IHOP. Uh, it was an IHOP placemat. Like, you go to International House of Pancakes, and there's the paper placemat there. So I guess that's what the suicide note was written on. But she says it. She goes, I was at IHOP. Um, it was written on the back of an IHOP in like red ink or whatever. So maybe she just found, or maybe she just brought that home at some point, the placemat from IHOP. So you guys listen to that. Am I missing something? You know, maybe she's just saying, oh, I at one point I had just taken the placemat home for some reason. Why would you take a paper placemat home from, you know? But she says, it just sounds, you guys, it sounds like she says that she wrote that, which is crazy because it fits in. You know, there's the papers with all the letters and stuff on there, like somebody was so yeah, they're I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think for years, you know, I didn't think even with what happened to me. If you guys have watched my videos, you know what I said happened to me. I still thought that it was a suicide until I watched Soaked in Bleach a few times and just took it all in. Actually, somebody that's in Soaked in Bleach has said that the guy that did the movie wanted to talk to me, which is interesting, and and I have an opportunity to talk to Tom Gramp. I don't really have anything to offer. I mean, it's like my story isn't like, you know, gonna help at all. You know, all I can do is if they do another film, you know, if they decide to interview friends on anything, I could tell the story of I ran into Chris, you know, April 5th, 1994, and Chris said that don't believe anything you hear, Kurt's fine. You know, I think that's pretty interesting because people that were really close to him actually thought that he was doing okay, right? And then Kurt wanted to get in recontact with me. He wanted to be around friends, you know. So if the coma put him in a really bad mind space, if he got brain damage or something, I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Like people have said that he lost, you know, he kind of lost it after that. So who knows, man? I don't know. That's how I feel about that. It's still questionable. Why Callie hasn't come forward and said anything, I don't know. I sure wish he would. You know, I wish he'd like say something, like what he knows. Seems like if he really loved Kurt and he wanted to like be like, look, you guys, you know, clear his name, right? It's just like, look, this is the deal. You know, hopefully he does that. Callie, if he watches, man, just do it, right? You know, I mean, you were friends with Kurt. Doesn't Kurt respect? Wouldn't that be respectful to Kurt and everybody that's ever loved Kurt to just know? You know, right? Okay. Anyway, so that's that. Thanks. Bye.